Hey there, my fellow travelers, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Primitive Society Simulator, Episode 3, Trade and Knowledge. Oh, and Natural Endowment of Capturing just got done. We captured 10 juvenile chickens, so this gives prestige. This will be probably the next endowment or next ancestral will that we do, which is to catch juvenile chickens and take eggs. And then the other one is to catch sheep, make wool clothing, and make winter clothing, which is not something that we're likely to do quick. What do the domesticated sheep eat? Grass. So domesticated sheep is actually a critter that I like to domesticate. There is a bit of, you actually end up taking the sheep out for grazing. So it's a bit more involved than chickens that you just leave in the pen, but it's still worth doing, I think. Oh, we are dropping off a lot of chicks here. I didn't want them. Oh well. Lobster traps are done. So lobster traps unlock fish food jars, and lobster traps. So fish food jar is sort of the bait used to bait lobsters. So I'm going to put that fish food jar in our kitchen. I'll put it here. And then we can construct lobster traps. Probably want to trap the lobsters closest to home. Maybe the here. 1, 2, and 3. The crowd was overcrowded, so I culled it a little bit. So Maddock is making the fish food jar, and this is just made with insect paste. I'm going to craft and keep a minimum of 10 fish food. So it's you create it out of nothing, essentially. If you were wondering about that. Oh, raincoats. So you'll see everybody automatically run to gather raincoats. And raincoats will protect people from getting wet. And each day it rains, it uses up 1 durability of the 80 durability rain coats. So I have people that are soaking wet as a result of not wearing raincoats in time, which increases their chance of getting sick. And the longer they're wet, the longer that chance of getting sick is. So raincoats are really useful to prevent illness. So now everyone's wearing one. And you can see they look a little bit different as a result. Oops, bad camera work. Where they have this like poncho and straw hat type setup. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it lowers their temperature tolerance as well. So that their raincoats are also very useful for layering to stay warmer in the winter. Take a look at our bone tablets. We've made 2 of them so far. Ooh, raising chickens. Ancestral will just got done because we took eggs today. And up here you can see our prestige is now 100. Wealth is 5,000 due to all of the flooring, really. The chicken pen gives us a tiny bit of wealth, but almost all of it comes from flooring. So here is our lobster traps, and they're waiting for fish food to be created so that they can be baited to capture the lobsters, which is a more passive way to gain food. I'll have Cathanon make some fish food for the traps. And I guess we didn't... looks like we captured more chickens. This just got overcrowded again. Can you set up an auto butcher? Not that I know of. But you can queue it up like here to butcher, which is a little bit easier than clicking on them, I suppose. Oh no, there is an auto butcher. I take it back. Max adult males, let's say 1. Max adult females, 5. Max juvenile males, juvenile females. There. Save settings. Okay. Learn something new. That's a lot less micromanagement. And there we go. So these traps are now baited, and after 3 days, they will provide lobster. There's a lot of animals out here. I'm just going to hunt them all. Practice our hunting skill. And maybe it would make sense just to increase the corral a little bit, so that we aren't constantly up against popbacks. So I'll expand the corral a tiny bit. Can the river flood the banks? I've never seen it, so I don't think so. Wait until... Okay, there we go. Demolish building. There. Now the corral will be less overloaded. So it can have up to 12 comfortably. So let's set up the auto butcher to have a few more females. So like 6 adult females, 1 adult male. There is 1 more hunting tablet to be produced, and then we'll be good to go. The other thing I'm going to do, now that well, actually, I don't have a lot of food surplus. I take that back. But even then, I'm going to send Tanuki out again. So in this menu here, you can sort by like specific skills. Searching for herbs, obviously, you're going to want your herbalist. So Tanuki is going to be sent out with all of our dried berries for 4 days to collect more random herbs. Maybe some fresh berries too. For 8 days. See you in 8 days. Bye, Tanuki. And that will advance our herbal knowledge. So if we take a look at the herb and foraging trees, foraging, we're moving towards wild millet. And then herbs, we're moving towards grinding herbs, which is making potions more efficiently. Can he die while exploring? If he starves to death, yes. And then the final bone tablet is done right now. And I should pick someone to be sent out for that as well. So who shares Tanuki's bed? Tanuki and Jazz Lover. So maybe I'll send Jazz Lover out to deliver the tablets. So Jazz Lover, if we go to quests here and select the Plain Hill quest, I select Jazz Lover. I give Jazz Lover some food for the trip, making sure that they don't go hungry, and then select the hunting tablets, set out, and Tanuki and Jazz Lover will be deployed, fulfilling those two requirements. Done. So Jazz Lover will be back in 2 days, and Tanuki I can recall at any time, but there's still travel time. So if I hit recall right now, it will take me a while to get back home. Other things that I've not yet made. Let's see. I haven't made the kiln yet. So I could put a kiln down. We'll put it here. There's also a war drum. So war drum is like a rallying item to sort of encourage your fighters to fight. There's also a pyre to burn the corpses of enemies. And there's other ones that I have not yet touched upon, but I don't really need to do that until I have children. The stone tablets and story points. Well, the ceremonial seats I could do. So there's a concept of like throwing a party or a ceremony. And I'll get that built eventually. Once maybe everyone's home. So I'll make a clay pot. I'll make 2 clay pots, even though we're not going to immediately use them. Might as well just have them waiting. You can see on the world map, Tanuki and Jazz Lover. So Jazz Lover's heading to Plain Hill, a farming tribe, and then Tanuki is just wandering around looking for herbs. And finding some. Which is great, because we have 4 potions left. So it's one of those things we're going to want a lot of. The raiders are due year 1, winter 10, which is going to be in 12 days. So, not urgent. Okay, we handed the scribe tablets of hunting, and in return, they taught us foraging, and we gained prestige. So if we take a look at creations here, the amount that they taught us of foraging gives us access to foraging wild millet, making berry soup, and making millet porridge. So I am going to assign Jazz Lover to all of these, because they definitely fall under Jazz Lover's purview. But Jazz Lover is currently deployed, so they're going to have to wait until Jazz Lover gets back home. Do I need to keep eggs untouched to get fresh roosters and hens? Yeah, I do. So I can take most of the eggs, but not all, if I want to breed them and also collect eggs. Moving the slider down. The other thing is, like, you sort of your hunters will collect capture the juvenile chicks out there. So there's a bunch of different ways to get new chicks. But we did get a lot of... so I was explaining how trade really is the driver of science, and you can see the difference. Our foraging jumped almost to the point of how much crafting we have just from delivering those tablets. Another thing that you might have noticed is you can carry mixed things. It's based upon carry weight, which is pretty nice. So here Lisk is holding 8 bones, 3 animal hides, and 87 meat, rather than just like one type of item at a time, like a lot of other games. I don't have the ability yet to domesticate sheep. That comes in later in the husbandry tree, which is here. And we collected some unknown crops and unknown herbs. So the unknown herbs and unknown crops are really what drives your foraging and herb knowledge, unless you get quests for that specifically. Oh, I have a new quest I just noticed. So Master Bat Tribe wants to learn about dogs. This is again another hunting task, which would be good for Zeusin to start scribing. And this quest is also for foraging. Wow. So that would bring our foraging up another 200 to rough millet and farmland planning. Or almost. I mean, that's 300, so it would be about here. But a big leap. So let's queue that up again. I like technology. So, Mr. Zeusin, you, I believe, are still our best hunter. Yep. So you are going to be stuck scribing for us. Who is our food preparer? Jazz Lover? Okay, so Jazz Lover's away. So I'm going to have Cathan on. You're also going to be a food preparer so that we can dry out meats and fish so they don't spoil. Drinks are on you? My pleasure. Cheers. And we're starting to get lobster as well. So lobster provides a lot more intelligence than the other foods, as does eggs. Eggs are 0.7 and lobster is 0.1 int. These numbers become multiplied significantly once you start cooking them, however. And then I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, dried meat and dried fish. Actually, dried meat is the same. Yeah, no, never mind. It's the same. It just keeps it drier. Kind of odd that I have writing before cooking or basic farming. Yeah, and just because of the chance of different quests available, you're not going to discover things necessarily in a predetermined order. So things can definitely fall behind. Certain technology like crafting tends not to fall behind because you're constantly building and making tools. And but like herbs, if you don't go on herbal quests, will easily fall behind. You know, same with husbandry, if you're not constantly catching new chickens. So sort of it develops more organically depending on availability of quests and availability of resources, which I kind of like. You can't just like force to push one thing ahead. That and warfare is in a bunch of different creations. So you do have like wood armor here, which is pretty significant when you're fighting and spear throwing and all that. But warfare is also direwolf domestication, you know, or archery or bone spears, right? They're in a bunch of different areas. So if you, for instance, want to become really militarized really quickly, you can't just like push one specific research tree because it exists in a bunch of research trees. That and recovering from fighting would be herbs. So warfare is a bit of crafting, a bit of herbs, a bit of hunting, you know. What's next to the hospital? So this is a war drum. The sound of the war drum can fill those on the battlefield with courage. Beat the war drum to enhance our people's morale. Every person gains plus 15 mood, and you can command and cancel the entire tribe here. So it is sort of a way to rally people getting ready for war, because being injured and seeing dead bodies and everything can be a bit of a drag on the mood, so it helps to counter that if you don't have good morale to begin with. All right, Team 1 has returned. Jazz Lover is back. And our herbal team is coming back home in about a day. With some unknown herbs, some unknown crops. And I'm going to leave Tanuki out there a little bit longer to try to get 2 herbs and 2 crops each. There is sort of like a prediction mechanic to allow you to guess what you'll get as a result of your deployments. Jazz Lover, I do believe that you are the ideal person for these knowledge. So let's have you designate inventing all of these things. And there's, as far as I know, no penalty for one person to be designated multiple things. It's just that what's going to be important is that they pass that knowledge down once they're an elder, which is I can talk about that mechanic a little bit, but I can't really show it until I have an elder, and I'm not likely to have an elder this stream. So the way that works is you have these stone tablets, and each of these stone tablets can contain one of the 8 types of knowledge, hunting, foraging, gathering, etc. And around those tablets will be story points. So story points are a place for, think of them as like a teaching soapbox. A teacher will stand on a story point and share their knowledge about that subject to the people within range that they're mentoring, either mentoring a child or apprenticing an adult. And they use the story points built around they use the stone tablets built around the story point as sort of the foundation, as the Rosetta Stone, if you will, of that knowledge. So it's a way to pass down generational knowledge. So given that I'm on my first generation, what will happen once we have children is we can mentor children and pass and teach them a little bit. So that they gain a little bit of the knowledge that the adults have. And then once you become an elder, elders will inscribe all that they know upon these stone tablets to pass the knowledge down to their children and to the other people in the community, which is a really cool game mechanic. We just discovered fish soup and bone harpoons. So bone harpoons I'm going to give to Cathanon to invent, and fish soup I will give to Jazz Lover as well. Jazz Lover's kind of doing all the cooking stuff. So 5 technologies being developed right now. We are moving. And then we have one of the 5 tablets of knowledge for this next quest here. Often these quests only require 3 tablets. I would say maybe like 2/3 or 3/4 of the quests require 3 tablets. I just been getting kind of unlucky and getting slapped with 5 level 5 quests, or rather quests that require 5 tablets, which, is more labor intensive. But Zeuson's working on it. And look at our food. Almost 1,000. We are sitting pretty for food. There is a crazed dire wolf heading for my settlement. Okay. This time I am going to... have my ranged units mostly deal with this. So I'm going to tell all of my slingers to stand back and hold still, and Zeusin will be the tank. Boom, done. So many creations. I would say what would be really nice is for us to try to get cooking going. So, in order to level up your cooking, it's collecting dried meat, dried fish, or cheese is pretty significant. Drying fish and making cheese gives experience as well. Just generally eating gives some knowledge, which is how we've been acquiring it so far. And then cooking, but obviously we can't cook until we discover cooking. So, using the drying racks as much as possible is the biggest thing that we can do to push that ahead. If you're wondering about injuries, they do have sort of a generic HP bar, depending on their vitality stats. So Zeus in here has a vitality of 9.6. So there's the vitality will be a multiplier for max health and also like carry weight. So if you take a look at the others, Dwarvenation has a lower vitality, so lower max HP. And if I find someone with the lowest vitality, I don't know if you can sort by vitality. Oh yeah, you can. So Rager has the highest vitality at 11.6, and then Lisk has the lowest at 2.5. So Lisk, for instance, has 269 HP, whereas Rager has 337. So it is a more simplified HP bar, yeah. And then their attack is dependent on the weapon that you're using, and then there's also armor that you can eventually craft for defense. I think I wouldn't mind everybody soothing, because that seems to be somewhat of a bottleneck, getting people over direwolf attacks and also getting over raids. Not that we've had raids yet. So I'm just going to have everyone soothe. It's not a very important work type to specify for a specific individual. All right, millet porridge. What else? Wild millet. So that one we can use right now. Berry soup, bone harpoons. So the bone harpoons are going to be better than regular harpoons. They're more effective fishing tools. So go over to our fishing, cancel the regular harpoons, and then start making bone harpoons. And I'm going to make and maintain up to 8. 1 per person. And the herb team is back. So Tanuki is all set with 2 unknown herbs, 2 unknown crops, and a bunch of regular herbs ready to be turned into healing potions. Jazz, I do not want you to do that, though. I want Tanuki to be the one to really taste the herbs and taste the crops. As I mentioned, when women become pregnant in this game, they can't venture out. So the people that go out on searching for herbs is best to be men to do it so that they can actually leave. Same with hunting. Is there tool storage? I don't know. I'm not sure. I think there's like shelves that you get later on. But I don't know about specific storage for tools. Alright, so Tanuki just ate the 2 herbs and got sick off of one of them. So I'm going to take a potion. And we are in winter. So you can see here, the river is frozen over and passable on foot. But there are these little holes that are generated where the fish are, which allows us to hunt. And grinding herbs just got invented. So I'm going to designate an inventor of Tanuki. Grinding herbs increases the efficiency of taking herbs and turning into potions, which is great. And then Tanuki, I want you to also be the one to taste the unknown crops. I mean, you're already sick, so like, you know, might as well make you sicker. I know what that feels like. I mean, you hear my voice. I'm Typhoid Mary. He's like sick out of his mind. I almost feel bad. So I'm giving him another potion because I think he got sick again. Yep, he's retching and vomiting in a bush. Sorry, dude, but at least I gave him a bunch of experience. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold off grinding these herbs into potions until he invents herb grinding, which will be more bang for my buck. We're also one tablet away from having the hunting tablets for the quest. And if you're wondering if you miss the window, you can just hold on to those tablets so that if there's another quest that comes up for that specific tablet, like a hunting tablet, in my case, you can just use the hunting tablet to deliver. So here, Cathanon just grabbed the Bone Harpoon, which has more accuracy and catches fish more successfully than the regular harpoons. Nobody's partnered up yet. Man, bunch of prudes. And so cereal, thank you for the sub. Cheers, dude. So one thing that you might have noticed is we are like swimming in fish and meat now. Like completely don't have any issues with food scarcity. A lot of the initial food scarcity was I tried to go too big on my storage stockpile and ended up rotting a lot of the meat and berries. What I should have done is gone for meat racks immediately and maybe berry dryers to prevent it from spoiling. But it didn't really matter because we collected enough anyway to cover our needs. And there it is. So with that invention complete, it increases the potion efficacy. And here I can say anytime we have herbs, make it into potions. And this is an herbalist task, so I want Tanuki to do it, and Tanuki just already has started. Because this will level up herbal knowledge even more. One thing I didn't do is analyze intelligence and vitality in assigning people jobs. I could have, because I don't think Tanuki is necessarily the smartest person in our group. That would be Maddock. By probably a significant measure. And having the people do... I would say less intelligent people are probably best used for tasks that you're going to do a ton of times, like fishing, gathering, even crafting and building, because there's a lot of opportunity to learn. Whereas like herbalism and foraging, there's a very limited amount of sort of experience grinding that you can do for those things. It's harder to grind that XP, so it's probably best for the people to do those specialized tasks that require that are more resource or time intensive to have higher intelligence. Can you capture wargs for your own? Yeah, in fact, we're getting very close to direwolf domestication discovery. We just need to do some more beast hunting in order to unlock it. So I can push towards that. Did we? Yes, so we all have we did get all the quest items for the foraging experience. So I'm going to dispatch Rager with some fish and meat and all of the hunting tablets, and have Rager get deployed doing that. Bye, Rager. I know that I'm going to be down one person for the upcoming fight. We do have a battle coming in 2 days. But it's only 2 attackers, and we have 7 defenders. So I'm not too worried about that fight, personally. Yeah, Maddock, yeah, you got the smart one, just by chance. And here, I guess Jazz Lover's now making this new potion. That's fine. There we go. So we have 8 potions up from 2 due to all the herbs that we collected. The chicken feed is getting a little low. So I'm going to collect some berries for them. And then the other thing I wanted to do is to potentially get direwolf domestication unlocked, which requires me to hunt. But I think almost all of the wild critters on the map tile are hunted right now. We've been doing a lot of hunting by default, just because I have hunting as a really high priority assigned work. Where is it? So anytime there's animals, wild animals, we hunt them, which is why, despite the fact that we haven't done any trade quests for hunting, we are pushing direwolf towards direwolf domestication pretty quickly. So tomorrow is battle time. How or why we can predict them months in advance is magical, but it also gives you, it also like tells you simply what is going to be attacking you, which is kind of nice, whether they're armored, what weapons they have, and then factors of how many attackers you get depending on population and adult population, and how your vitality stats, and how many melee weapons you have, and also the difficulty factor of the game. So it like gives you the full breakdown of like, you're being attacked by X amount of people because, and then it shows you all the factors, which is really nice. Something that like RimWorld doesn't show you. It just has like a total points. So there we go. We delivered the items to Master Bat tribe. Oh, and people just got married. So Dwarvenation and Rager are married. And Lisk and Maddock are married. So I'm going to raffle off their last names. I know that's a little strange, but raffle timer's up. And subscribers in the chat, you're eligible to become the last name of our married couple. So now that they're married, they're going to push for pregnancies. Oh, and there we go. Tanuki and Kathanon and Zeus and Jazz Lover are also married. They're getting married right before the big combat. I'm going to rally everyone here. And then have Jazz Lover beat the ward. Well, not yet. I'm going to have everyone arrive first. I know we're about to get attacked. So I'm just trying to get everyone together. So is this all 7? It is. So here, I'm beating war drums right before the intruders came. These intruders are going to get messed up so hard. I'm going to send everyone to intercept them over yonder. So what I want is my meleeers in front and my ranged, rangers are not here, my ranged in back. Prepare to get wrecked. First one is dead. Hoorah! Done. So the enemies will drop enemy relics, which are like trophy items. And one of the things you can do with the enemy relics, if you go to Prestige, is a war totem. Essentially a totem made of the enemy relics that you get attacked from, which gives you Prestige and also gives a attack bonus to your people. The other thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to burn their corpses immediately, because their corpses will spread disease. And if you don't do it, people will get sick. So up here, as you can see, people have a 2.5% chance of getting the plague every day, which is probability of 2% plus the corpses for each additional corpse that is on the map tile. So because I've already have a pyre here, I can burn their corpses. And the lovely thing about the pyre is it burns as many corpses as you want. Like, you can load multiple corpses on, no problem. So here we have 2 of the invaders. So this was the alert for the invasion, and then this was the first step in the quest of who are they? Like, why are they attacking us? So we have to defend against their attacks 4 times to advance that. So here Tanuki is burning the corpses, and the plague vector is removed. So I'm no longer at plague risk, thanks to the funeral pyre. Yep, disease vectoring exists. I know, right? This game has a lot of complex and fairly unique mechanics. I was not kidding about that. I mean, what I will say is, like, some of the UI, the UX UI is a little wonky, but if you can get past that, it's very detailed and rich. Thank you for tuning in to Primitive Society Simulator, which originally streamed live on Twitch, February 13th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. Hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow cavemen.